Well, I just made this log carrier, and it's supposed to be a manual log carrier. You hook the log up under there, and you pull with this. The design that I'm sort of copying is one where you put half the log sticking out the back and half the log up here. And it's sort of made for a 9-foot long. This is my new log carrier. That's a 9-foot cherry log. It's kind of made for a specific purpose, which is to haul 8.5, 9-foot logs max, that size max, downhill across a guy's yard to a place where we can get at them with heavy equipment or heavier equipment. Anyway, so it's this frame. I know the wheels are on the small side, but it's what I had, and one of my goals was to make this out of stuff that I had in stock at home. And so anyway, there it is. And with a log this heavy, it's kind of a big one-man job, but I can handle it myself. Notice that the log tongs are fastened right here, and that leaves the log about a foot plus below the frame. But I have an adapter here which can go on right there, and that allows me to get the log tongs up another foot in the air so that the log will come right up here if that's needed. The only things I bought were these U-bolts, which were smaller than I wanted, but it's the biggest they had at the hardware store, and these little grab hooks here and over there. Everything else I had laying around here. And I saw one on someplace, a picture of one that a guy was selling in the UK for about 500 euros or Great British pounds or whatever that is. And his was made out of bent pipe for the frame and stuff, and all welded together. But I wasn't sure I would get the geometry right, so things like this brace mechanism here is bolted in place, and this can slide along here if needed. So if I got the geometry wrong, I could change things. Also, I made the pole here out of a bigger pipe, a smaller pipe inside, and right now the length of the whole thing is set with this pin going through here, but I can change that if I need more or less leverage. So there it is. Probably my biggest cobble here was I needed really a kind of a T or something here, and I didn't have one, so I cobbled up an elbow, and I don't know if it'll last or not, and just tacked it in place. And so we'll see what happens. Okay, there's, I don't know, 10 or 15 pounds of tongue weight on here right now. So to use this, just take the chains off here, and then to load a log, or unload it, I guess. Basically, you just tip the thing backwards, drop the tongs down so that they grab the log in about the center or a little bit that way, depending on the heaviness of the log and stuff, and just grab it there. And then you'll see that if you look at the geometry from a mechanical advantage standpoint, you've got to pull here to get the log to come up off the ground. Fortunately, as the frame stands up, the mechanical advantage gets more in your favor. So, get out here. Okay. So there we do that. Let me pick up the chain here, which obviously can be adjusted as needed. There. There. And so you can adjust the chain to pull the log closer to the tongue or not, so that the tail end of the log isn't too close to the ground. That's how it works. And this is my small log tongs. I have a bigger pair which is longer and which goes closer to the ground. So I have this adapter that I made that goes on here, and then with a bolt through here as a pin allows the longer tongs to get the log higher up off the ground. I saw something similar to this on the internet someplace, and so I kind of used the thing I saw as a model, but the guy used bent heavy-duty tubing of some sort to make the frame. I didn't have any of that, nor did I have the capability, so I just used square tubing. It's fairly thin tubing going vertically, heavier tubing going across, and his device was all welded up. But this one, I decided to bolt some things together instead of welding, and I wanted to do it on the cheap. So the only things that I bought were the U-bolts here and the little grab hooks that are here. And I figured if I got the geometry wrong, then I could take it apart and make adjustments and not have to throw the whole thing away. Again, I know the wheels are kind of small, but they're what I had. If I run across some spindles and hubs from like a car spare tire or something like that, maybe I'll change that someday. But you can see, for instance, that this bracket here is just bolted on, and this is can slide so that I can take this whole assembly apart if I need to. The tongue is in two pieces. This tube obviously slides inside that one, and I've set it up for the current height that it is right now, or length I mean, but I can change that if needed. And again, I kind of cobbled that elbow up because I didn't want to go buy a T, and I did want to use the stuff I had. And I had to make a ring here. But anyway, it's all, almost everything is stuff that I had laying around. That's a cherry log, by the way. Not a great one. Thank you for watching.